Hey y'all, it's me, Shea Butter Love, popping in on this beautiful day. As you can see, I am out here getting some sun on this beautiful day in San Diego. I wanted to say welcome to my channel if it is your first time tuning in. This is going to be a brief video. What we're working on today is Love Series Part 5. If you are new to my channel, I want to say please feel free to hit the notification bell so you can know when I'm posting. Please feel free to like, to share, and to even dialogue and comment if you have something you want to contribute to what's being said. I want to say thank you to the last couple of followers that joined. I hope you see this video. You are appreciated and you are welcome. I am thankful. As I'm building this channel, I'm realizing that it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, and I'm also have a deep found respect for people that really got it out the mud as YouTubers, because now being that the market for YouTube is super oversaturated, it's even harder. And if you're not really, zeroed in on kind of like drama or, content that is really sought after, such as cooking, hair, makeup, things of those natures, those are going to get a lot more followers a lot faster. But, on this channel, we kind of are focused on, the mental health of things, the spiritual health of things, the emotional health of things. And I'm going to stick with that because that's where my heart lies and that's where my desires are. So today I wanted to zero in on Love Part 5. Want to talk about the fact that love does change. Love has many seasons in all relationships. This is not just a romance thing, because even in parenting, love does change. And I want to talk about that. I think that a lot of times in even friendships, people expect for the love dynamic to stay the same. And when I say that, I don't mean that it always changes for the negative. It can, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it does change, meaning that things can deepen, vulnerabilities can become a lot more open, and walls can come down, and people that are guarded can become less guarded with trust and time. So when you are building with other humans and you're building different relationships in business, in friendships, in work relationships even, because sometimes when we get on the workforce, we are extremely guarded, and we can grow to love some of our employees, and we can also grow to love the establishment that we put our time in at. This is very natural. A lot of people don't like to talk about this thing because it's like some type of unspoken taboo, but no, in this reality that we're living in, love comes from many different places, so I want people to look at it from a perspective that is supernatural. And I wanted to say also, before I continue, while the thought just crossed my mind, my videos are recorded once and once only. We do not do edits as of now. I just like to keep it raw. You know what I'm saying? So any mishap or any misuse of a word or any little discrepancy, just chalk it up as a part of the video, because that's what it is. So when we connect this love thing, in a romantic sense, a lot of times we expect for the context of love and the established love that we form and bonds that we form to remain the same, and that's just not reality. The more time that you put in to situations, it will change, because we as humans change. Our minds, our thoughts, our living situations, our lives change, right? So it's natural. And I think that in order for us to establish some longevity in these places, it is perfectly okay to go with the flow of that. Love is just love. When you're coming into something, new love is always new love. New is new. That's whether, when you get a car, if you got a car in 2015 and it has 0 miles on it, that was some new love. That was a new car. And if you look at that car now, it's not to say you don't love it, but it's not new anymore. So the care that you may have gave to that, you may not do that all the way to the fullest now. Some people are a lot more attentive in their love experience, so that may not apply to you, but that can apply to many people, So I want to say that's really super common, and it's also super common in love experiences to have hills and valleys, times of ups and downs where, things may feel like a roller coaster at times. It doesn't mean that it's toxic. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that that is what is happening in the moment and at the time with whatever relationship is being built. So it's just, the way things go. So sometimes we have too much of an attachment to what somebody else is doing in the experience, rather than taking a mirror and looking at ourselves and seeing why it is that we are feeling the way we're feeling, why it is that we're loving the way we're loving, why it is we're receiving the love the way we're receiving the love. I believe that things change, things change within love experiences. Things are not going to always be the same. If I am with someone in 2000, hell, I don't love them the same in 2005. I might love them more than when I started loving them, depending on the treatment and the care of the relationship and where we stand, and even the spiritual tie that we may have, So if you're wondering, like, what's going on, like me and my best friend, we're not as close as we were, or you're wondering, well, what's going on? I used to love this field that I worked in, and I don't really love it as much anymore. Or you may be, like, damn, I like this person and I love them, but now I can't stop thinking about them, and I'm wondering, why I can't stop being around them. And love can change within a relationship because the dynamics change so frequently, especially if you start off as a young couple. You got to think about children, career changes, living changes, living arrangements. You got to think about all of these things, and once you establish in your mind that change is not a bad thing, change is just a thing. It can be good or it can be bad, but it's not a bad thing. That means it can be anything. It can just be neutral, So if in fact you find yourself just wondering, like, what exactly is going on, it could be that it's just in a transformative place and it's fluctuating, and that's what can happen with the experience of love sometimes. And it's not just you, it's everybody. That's the reason why people change careers. That's the reason why people change partners. That's the reason why people change living arrangements, because once they loved it and, maybe the neighbors moved in, they don't love it anymore. And it's okay to not love something or someone anymore. That's another thing. Just because you once loved somebody don't mean you obligated to love them forever. Just because you once loved being a teacher doesn't mean you have to love being a teacher forever. Things change, people grow. And that's just the reality of everything. So I hope that this message was, just straight to the point, and I hope that it touched somebody. If you're in this position, don't beat yourself up. If you're in a position where you're like, man, I don't know, that's just something I feel. I've been in the position before where I had to allow for some things to change that I loved. And I even in parenting, like, your love is super attentive as you have a newborn baby, and then you begin to relinquish some of the care because they become independent. It doesn't mean that the love per se changes, but the way that the love is displayed sometimes changes. You may always fix their plate and feed them when they're 1 year old, 2 years. You're not going to be feeding a 16-year-old. You're not going to be fixing their plate all the time. You might, if that's the way, if that's your love language, if that's the way you show your love. But everybody's not going to, and you shouldn't feel anything about that. You know what I mean? So I hope the message was loud and clear. I did have some background interference because where I'm at, the street is not super far from here. But today's words of wisdom, words of encouragement, and free game may have been for you. If it's not for you, it's for somebody. Feel free to share it. Peace.